This happened about 2 years ago when I went on a camping trip with my older brother Dave and a few of his friends. They were all in their late 20s and I had just turned 19. I wasn't really part of their friend group, but Dave brought me along to get me out of the house. He said the spot we were going to was deep in the Rockies, off trail and totally isolated. We packed light, hiked a few miles, and set up camp near this small, dried up riverbed. No cell service, no people, and just trees for miles. It was perfect. The first night was normal. We drank some beers, sat around the fire, and talked trash until midnight. Everyone went to sleep in their tents, and the only sounds were the crackling fire and the wind in the trees. The second night, that's when things got strange. We were sitting around the fire again, just like before. Dave suddenly stood up and said, "I'm gonna grab more wood before the fire dies. Be right back." He walked off into the woods with a flashlight, and the rest of us just kept talking. But he didn't come back. 5 minutes went by, then 10, 15. Eventually, I stood up and said, "Should we go check on him?" One of Dave's friends, Marcus, just laughed. "He's probably taking a piss or smoking. He'll be fine." But I wasn't so sure. Something felt weird. The woods had gone quiet, like unnaturally quiet. Then out of nowhere, we heard footsteps, heavy ones, crunching through leaves and twigs. They were slow and steady, like someone taking big, deliberate steps. Everyone froze. The footsteps got closer. We all turned our heads toward the tree line, and that's when Dave finally came back into view. Only, he looked completely different. His face was pale, his shirt was soaked with sweat, and he was breathing hard, like he'd been running. And the scariest part, he wouldn't speak. He just sat down by the fire and stared into the flames. After a minute, I asked, "Dude, are you okay?" No answer. I tried again. "Dave, what happened out there?" He finally whispered something, just loud enough for us to hear. "Don't look into the trees." We all kind of looked at each other, confused. I asked him what he meant, and he just shook his head. "If you see him, don't look at his face." That's when we heard the footsteps again. Only this time, they weren't coming from Dave's direction. They were coming from the opposite side of the campsite. Marcus stood up and aimed his flashlight toward the sound, but the light barely touched the edge of the trees. That's when we saw him, a man.